Well, good morning to you. How are you all today? I hope you're doing very well out there. So, these last few days, I've been considering and thinking about and talking about um, what happens in life when you find you're feeling a little lost. It happens to all of us. Sometimes it's a small thing. You feel you're not quite in the right role in work, or the friendship group you have doesn't quite serve you anymore. So you feel yourself just a little lost. It happens. Yeah, it's not a tragedy, but sometimes that can be overwhelming. You feel that you've got completely lost in life, that you simply no longer know what you want or where you're going. And I suggested that when you're lost, the first thing to do is to stop moving. No point in pushing on if you no longer know where you're going. The second thing to do was to become present. Instead of being fixated on some imagined future or worrying about where you came from, look around in your life and work out where you are right now. What's the third step? Well, the third step I would suggest is this: use the old phrase, look before you leap. Observe your life. You've become present. You've put down worrying about the future. You've put down worrying about the past. You're looking at where you are right now. Look, see things not as you expect them to be, but as closely as possible. See them as they are. If you are in a community which no longer satisfies you, instead of saying, "What is this community?" ask yourself, "What could it be? What could I make it? What could I contribute to change this community?" If the answer is nothing, okay, it's the wrong community for you. But if you're in a job and you go, "I don't like this job," instead of saying, "Oh, I know what this job is," ask, what could it be? How might I do it differently? How might I engage differently? Engage with the world not as through the lens of knowing what you're doing, but be curious about what you're doing. Ask yourself not, "What is this?" but "What could this be?" You think you're lost, you've decided to pause and become present. Look around with curiosity. Discover what you're maybe not noticing about your life, about relationships, about your job, about your artistic practice. Allow yourself to be enthused by the possibilities of where you find yourself in life. Now, it may be that as you do that, as you engage with an open hearted willingness to be enthusiastic, you find very little to be enthusiastic about. That's super cool. That's telling you you are, in fact, pretty well lost. And there are steps to take to deal with that. But don't leap to the conclusion that you don't know what you're doing just because you feel a bit lost. Maybe you just need to engage with a bit more curiosity. Maybe you just need to discover a bit more about where you are, who you're with, what you're doing, what the reality of your life is. And through that process of discovery, you may find out you're not lost at all. You're doing just fine. But you had got jaded. You had got tired. You had sunk into the familiarity of routine and drudge. And that sometimes if you're doing that and you look up and you look around, you realize, wow, I'm doing pretty damn well, actually. This is what I want. So the first three stages I would suggest we go through if we sense we're lost is: one, take some time to pause. Two, become present with what is inside your body as well as out in the world. And three, observe. Look at where you are. Look at what your soul, your body is telling you about where you are. Look at the reality of the things that you're doing. Get curious, get excited, get enthused. And if there is no passion there, great. We move on to the next stage, reorientating our lives so that we are no longer lost, but we are the central character in the movie of our own journey through this wonderful world. I'm going to talk about those later stages in the next few days. I work as a coach. I work with people who are lost, small lost or big lost. If you think that I can work with you and you'd like to talk to me, drop me a message. I'd love to hear from you. Whatever you're doing today, do it full of passion. Take care now.